Have you ever felt stuck, as if something invisible was blocking your path to success? Maybe you're sabotaging your own journey without even realizing it. Today, we'll dive into the depths of Stoic wisdom to uncover the 9 shackles that are silently sabotaging your journey to prosperity. As Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Get ready for a journey of self-discovery that will shake the foundations of your reality. We're going to expose the mental traps that you may not even know exist, but which are eating away at your progress day after day. This isn't just another self-help video, it's a call to arms for your mind. From the halls of power in ancient Rome to the daily battles of modern life, the principles of Stoicism have guided leaders, thinkers, and ordinary people to overcome seemingly impossible odds. And today, you will have access to this ancient knowledge, applied to your reality. But beware, this video is not for the faint-hearted. If you're ready to face uncomfortable truths, to challenge your own limitations, and to emerge stronger on the other side, then you're in the right place. Every second of this video is designed to be a tool in your journey of transformation. And here's the challenge. Do you have the courage to watch to the end? Because I guarantee that the last piece of advice may be exactly what you need to hear in order to make the quantum leap towards success that you so desperately crave. Don't miss a second of this transformative journey. Activate the notification bell now and get ready for a dose of Stoic wisdom that could change the course of your life. And if this video resonates with you, don't hesitate to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Together, let's unleash the power of modern Stoicism and unlock your true potential. Now take a deep breath, center yourself in the present moment, and get ready to discover the 9 things that are stopping you from thriving. Your future self will thank you for watching this video to the end. 1. The illusion of total control. Imagine yourself as a captain on a ship in the middle of a raging storm. The waves are rising threateningly, the wind is howling, and the rain is lashing the deck. In this chaotic scenario, you might be tempted to believe that you have the power to control every aspect of the situation. But Stoic wisdom teaches us a valuable lesson. There are elements that are beyond our control. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that remains relevant today, invites us to make a crucial distinction between what we can and cannot control. This distinction, known as the dichotomy of control, is fundamental to our peace of mind and effectiveness in life. The Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, teach us that our true power lies in our actions, thoughts, and choices. When we cling to the illusion of total control, we create a mental prison for ourselves. We become frustrated by events that don't go according to plan. We wear ourselves out trying to change the opinions of others, and we exhaust ourselves fighting against circumstances that are beyond our reach. It's like trying to control the wind or the waves, a futile effort that only leads to exhaustion and disappointment. Stoicism offers us a liberating alternative. Instead of exhausting ourselves with the uncontrollable, we are invited to focus our energy and attention on what is really under our control. Our reactions to events, our interpretations of situations, our decisions and actions. These are the real fields where we can exercise our power. This change of perspective is not a surrender or a passive acceptance of fate. On the contrary, it is a powerful redirection of our energy. By accepting that we can't control everything, we paradoxically gain more control over our lives. We release the energy that was previously wasted on useless worries and channel it into effective actions and constructive thoughts. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom does not come from trying to control the outside world, but from mastering our inner world. It's about learning to remain calm in the midst of chaos, to act with integrity regardless of the circumstances, and to find peace even when things don't turn out as we had hoped. So when facing life's challenges, remember, you are not the master of the universe, but the captain of your own mind and actions. Focus on what is within your reach, accept what is not, and you will discover an inexhaustible source of strength and serenity. This is the Stoic wisdom that can transform not only your perspective, but your entire life experience. 2. The fear of failure. The fear of making mistakes is one of the greatest enemies of prosperity. This fear, so common and so human, is one of the biggest obstacles we face on our journey towards prosperity and personal fulfillment. However, Stoic philosophy offers us a powerful perspective for facing and overcoming this paralyzing fear. The ancient Stoics, such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, deeply understood the nature of fear and its impact on our lives. They recognized that the fear of failure not only prevents us from making bold decisions, but also stifles our potential for growth. It's as if we were trapped in an invisible cage, created by our own apprehensions. But what exactly do we fear? When we talk about failure, often it's not the result itself that frightens us, but the judgment we imagine will come with it. We fear the disapproval of others, the loss of status, or the confirmation of our own internal doubts. The Stoics remind us that these worries are largely creations of our mind and don't necessarily reflect reality. Stoic wisdom invites us to radically change our perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as an end, the Stoics saw it as a beginning, a starting point for learning and growth. Every mistake, every stumble, every plan that doesn't work out is a valuable opportunity to acquire knowledge, refine our skills, and strengthen our character. Consider the analogy of a child learning to walk. He falls over and over again, but each fall is a step towards mastering the walk. The child does not fear failure. It embraces it as a natural part of the learning process. The Stoics invite us to adopt this same mentality in our adult lives, seeing every challenge as a chance to become stronger and wiser. In addition, the Stoics teach us to focus on what is within our control. We can't control the outcome of all our actions, but we can control our effort, our attitude, and our response to what happens. By focusing our energy on these aspects, we reduce the power that the fear of failure has over us. After all, if we do our best, how can we truly fail? Stoicism also reminds us of the importance of constant practice. Just as a muscle strengthens, with exercise, our ability to face the fear of failure grows each time we challenge it. Every small, courageous action we take, every calculated risk we take, makes us more resilient and confident. Finally, the Stoics encourage us to take a broader view of life. They remind us that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, and that our actions, whether successful or not by conventional standards, contribute to the flow of existence. This perspective frees us from the crushing pressure of always getting it right and allows us to act with more freedom and authenticity. So the next time the fear of failure threatens to paralyze you, remember the lessons of the Stoics. Face your fears head on, see failure as a valuable teacher, and focus on what you can control. Remember that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and that, in the end, true failure lies not in falling, but in refusing to get up and try again. Embrace the journey with all its uncertainties and possibilities, for therein lies the true richness of life. 3. The quest for perfection. The obsession with perfection is a prison disguised as a virtue. It keeps you stagnating, waiting for the ideal moment that never comes. Imagine an artist standing in front of a blank canvas, paralyzed by the desire to create the perfect masterpiece. Days, weeks, months go by, and the brush remains untouched. This scene perfectly illustrates how the obsessive quest for perfection can become a trap that prevents us from acting and growing. Stoicism, with its ancient wisdom, offers a liberating perspective on this dilemma. The Stoics understood that perfection, in the absolute sense, is an illusion. The natural world, which they revered as a manifestation of divine reason, is full of imperfections and constant change. Accepting this reality not as a defect, but as an intrinsic part of existence, is the first step towards freeing oneself from the prison of perfectionism. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true virtue lies not in the pursuit of unattainable perfection, but in the continuous effort to improve and act in accordance with our rational nature. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that we should do the best we can with what we have, where we are, without being paralyzed by the pursuit of the ideal. Perfectionism often disguises itself as virtue, making us believe that we are being diligent and committed. However, the Stoics warn us of the danger of this illusion. The obsession with perfection can become a form of procrastination, an excuse not to face the fear of failure or criticism. Stoicism invites us to embrace imperfect action as a path to growth. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic masters, emphasized the importance of starting where we are, with what we have. He teaches us that it's better to take small, imperfect steps than to remain paralyzed dreaming of perfect leaps. This philosophy does not advocate mediocrity or lack of effort. On the contrary, it encourages us to strive for excellence through constant practice and gradual improvement. The crucial difference lies in understanding that excellence is a process, not an end state of absolute perfection. By adopting this Stoic mindset, we release creative and productive energy that was previously consumed by the anxiety of perfection. We begin to see every trial and error as an opportunity to learn and grow. This approach allows us to adjust course along the way, adapting to circumstances and continually improving. Stoicism reminds us that life is too short and precious to be wasted in the pursuit of illusory perfection. Instead, we are invited to embrace our humanity with all its imperfections and to act with courage and determination in the present. After all, as Seneca would say, it's not because things are difficult that we don't dare, it's because we don't dare that they are difficult. So the next time you feel paralyzed by the pursuit of perfection, remember the Stoic lessons. Take the first step, however imperfect. Start the project, write the first line, make the call you've been putting off. Action, however imperfect, is the path to growth and fulfillment. And along the way, you'll discover that true perfection lies in the process of continuous improvement, not in an idealized end result. 4. Attachment to the past. Getting stuck in the past is like carrying an anchor while trying to sail forward. Imagine yourself as a sailor on a vast ocean, where each wave represents a moment in life. Stoicism invites us to navigate these waters wisely, recognizing that getting stuck in the past is like trying to anchor the boat in the midst of the current of existence. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, teach us that true power lies in our ability to focus on the present. They argued that the past, however significant it may have been, no longer exists, except in our minds. Constantly carrying the memories and emotions of what once was is like trying to sail with an anchor dragging on the seabed. It only slows our progress and drains our energy. Stoicism offers us a liberating perspective on the past. Instead of clinging to it, we are invited to accept it with serenity. This doesn't mean ignoring or forgetting what happened, but understanding that we can't change it. The only thing we can control is our attitude towards it in the present moment. Seneca, in his wisdom, reminds us that life is too short and too anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. This phrase warns us of the danger of living outside the present moment, whether through attachment to the past or anxiety about the future. Attachment to the past often manifests itself as regret, nostalgia, or unresolved trauma. The Stoics encourage us to face these emotions with rationality and acceptance. They teach us that although we cannot change past events, we can change our interpretation and response to them in the present. Freeing ourselves from the weight of the past is not an easy task, but it is essential for our growth and well-being. Stoicism offers us practical tools for this, such as the practice of daily reflection. At the end of each day, we can review our experiences, extract valuable lessons, and then consciously let go of what we can't change. By letting go of the emotional baggage of the past, we make room for new experiences and opportunities. It's like clearing the deck of our ship, allowing us to sail with more agility and purpose. Stoicism reminds us that every moment is a chance to start again, to make choices in line with our virtues and values. So as you face the waves of life, remember the Stoic lessons. Accept the past with gratitude for what it has taught you, but don't let it define your present or future. Keep your rudder steady in the now, because this is where your true power to change and grow lies. By letting go of the burdens of yesterday, you become free to sail towards brighter and more promising horizons. 5. Constant comparison. Comparing yourself to others is poison for the mind. There will always be someone apparently more successful or happier, but that doesn't define your value or progress. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, offers a powerful antidote to this modern evil. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, teach us that the true measure of success is not in comparison with others, but in our own internal growth. They argued that our value is not defined by external standards, but by the quality of our character and actions. Constant comparison with others can trigger a series of negative emotional consequences. Feelings of inferiority, anxiety, and even depression can arise when we constantly measure ourselves against the successes of others. It's as if we were always running a race without a finish line, always feeling short. Stoicism invites us to shift our focus from external comparison to internal self-reflection. Instead of comparing ourselves with others, we should ask ourselves, am I becoming a better person today than I was yesterday? This change of perspective frees us from the prison of comparison and allows us to appreciate our own progress. In addition, the Stoics remind us that appearances can be deceiving. What we see on social media or in the lives of others is often an edited and filtered version of reality. 5. Comparing our full life with all its ups and downs with these idealized cutouts is not only unfair, but also harmful to our mental health. Stoicism teaches us to find contentment in simplicity and self-sufficiency. By focusing on developing our character and inner virtues, we can find a source of satisfaction that doesn't depend on approval or comparison with others. Practicing gratitude for what we have and what we are is another powerful Stoic tool to combat constant comparison. By recognizing and appreciating our own achievements and unique qualities, we strengthen our self-esteem and reduce the need for external validation. Finally, Stoicism encourages us to see every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Instead of envying the success of others, we can use their achievements as inspiration for our own development, always remembering that each person has their own unique journey. So the next time you find yourself comparing your life to others, remember the Stoic lessons. Turn your gaze inwards, celebrate your own progress, and find satisfaction in your personal growth. After all, the only truly meaningful comparison is between who you are today and who you were yesterday. 6. Procrastination. Postponing important decisions or actions is a subtle form of self-sabotage. Every moment wasted is a wasted opportunity to build something meaningful. Imagine a day when you wake up full of plans, but at the end of it you realize that almost nothing has been done. Important tasks have been put off and time has been wasted on distractions. Procrastination, the habit of putting off what we know is essential, is a form of self-sabotage that affects not only our productivity, but also our inner peace. For the Stoics, this practice is more than a question of organization. It is a reflection of how we deal with time and our choices. The Stoics saw time as our most precious and least renewable resource. Seneca warns us that it's not the time we lack, but the way we waste it. Procrastinating means betraying the present, living in the illusion that tomorrow is guaranteed. It's as if we were constantly postponing life, leaving for later what could bring us growth and fulfillment today. Procrastination often stems from the search for immediate comfort. We put off tasks because they seem difficult or because we are trapped in fear of failure. For the Stoics, this behavior reflects a weakness of will, an internal division between the desire to act correctly and the temptation to seek momentary pleasure. This internal struggle needs to be faced with courage and discipline, fundamental virtues for overcoming inertia. One of the most powerful Stoic teachings for combating procrastination is the practice of focusing on the present moment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we must act now, without waiting for the perfect moment. Perfection is an illusion that paralyzes. Progress comes from continuous, imperfect action. By breaking down large tasks into small steps and starting immediately, even with something simple, we can overcome the initial resistance that prevents us from moving forward. In addition, the Stoics emphasize the importance of clarity of purpose. When we know exactly why we're doing something and understand its value to our lives, it's easier to resist distractions and act with determination. Daily reflection on our goals and priorities helps us stay focused on the essential, eliminating what doesn't contribute to our growth. Another relevant Stoic principle is the acceptance of difficulties as a natural part of life. We often procrastinate because we want to avoid discomfort or effort. However, the Stoics teach us that facing challenges is the way to strengthen our character and achieve virtue. Every task put off is a missed opportunity to learn and evolve. Finally, the Stoics invite us to live each day as if it were a lifetime. There are no guarantees about the future. All we have is now. By embracing this perspective, we realize that every moment matters and every choice defines who we are. Procrastinating doesn't just steal our time, it steals our essence and our potential. So when you feel the temptation to put off something important, remember the Stoic lessons. Focus on the present, act with courage and discipline, and value every second as a unique opportunity to build something meaningful. Lost time never comes back, but every action taken today can transform your life tomorrow. 7. Inner negativity. Negative thoughts create invisible barriers that prevent you from achieving your goals. They are like weeds which, if left unchecked, can suffocate the flowers of your potential. Stoicism, with its ancient wisdom, offers us powerful tools to cultivate a thriving and resilient mental garden. The Stoics understood that our perception of reality shapes our experience of life. When we allow negative thoughts to dominate our mind, we create invisible barriers that prevent us from achieving our goals. These barriers are not physical, but mental, and are often more difficult to overcome than tangible obstacles. To combat this internal negativity, Stoicism teaches us to practice mental discipline. This involves identifying and questioning our negative thoughts. When we find ourselves ruminating on problems or imagining doomsday scenarios, we should pause and ask, is this thought useful? Does it take me closer to my goals or further away from them? A powerful Stoic technique for dealing with negativity is the practice of negative visualization. Paradoxically, by imagining the worst possible scenario, we can mentally prepare ourselves to face challenges and appreciate more what we have in the present. This practice helps us develop resilience and maintain a balanced perspective in the face of adversity. Stoicism also encourages us to focus on what is within our control. Often, our negativity arises from worrying about things we can't change. By directing our energy towards what we can influence, our actions, thoughts, and attitudes, we cultivate a sense of empowerment and positivity. In addition, the Stoics emphasize the importance of gratitude as an antidote to negativity. By regularly practicing acknowledging the good things in our lives, we train our minds to identify opportunities and positive aspects in any situation. Stoicism reminds us that happiness does not depend on external circumstances, but on our interpretation of and response to those circumstances. By cultivating a resilient and positive mindset, we become able to face challenges with courage and serenity, seeing every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. So, when faced with negative thoughts, remember the Stoic lessons. Question these ideas, focus on what you can control, practice gratitude, and see each challenge as a chance to strengthen your character. With practice and perseverance, you can transform your mental garden into fertile ground for personal growth and the achievement of your goals. 8. Lack of discipline. Without discipline, even the best plans fall apart. Imagine a fortress built on sand. However imposing it may seem, without a solid foundation, it is destined to collapse. In the same way, without discipline, even the most brilliant plans and noble intentions can crumble in the face of life's challenges. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-control and constancy, offers us a way to build an unshakable foundation. For our achievements, Stoic philosophy places discipline at the center of its practice. For the Stoics, discipline is not just a tool, but an essential virtue that permeates all aspects of life. It is the foundation on which to build the character and resilience needed to face adversity and achieve lasting goals. Self-control, so highly valued by the Stoics, is the practical manifestation of discipline. It is the ability to resist momentary impulses in favor of long-term goals. Epictetus, one of the great masters of Stoicism, emphasized the importance of exercising control over our desires and aversions, arguing that it is through this mastery that we achieve true freedom. Developing consistent habits is one of the most effective ways of cultivating discipline. The Stoics teach us that excellence is not an act, but a habit. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of maintaining a disciplined routine, even when faced with the responsibilities of ruling an empire. Stoic discipline is not just about rigidity or austerity. It is a practice of self-knowledge and self-mastery that allows us to act in accordance with our deepest values, even when faced with temptations or difficulties. It's the ability to stay focused on our goals, regardless of the distractions or obstacles that may arise. To cultivate this discipline, the Stoics recommended practices such as daily reflection, setting clear goals, and constant self-evaluation. Seneca, for example, advised regularly reviewing our actions and thoughts as a way of strengthening our resolve and correcting our course when necessary. Stoic discipline also teaches us the importance of perseverance. In the face of difficulties, it is discipline that keeps us firm in our purpose. As Epictetus reminds us, no great feat is suddenly accomplished. It is through constant practice and unwavering commitment to our principles that we build the strength needed to overcome challenges. So, as you seek to cultivate discipline in your life, remember the Stoic teachings. Establish routines that reinforce your values and objectives. Practice self-control on a daily basis, resisting impulses that don't align with your long-term goals. Stand firm in the face of adversity, knowing that every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. Discipline, as taught by the Stoics, is not an end in itself, but a means of achieving a virtuous and fulfilled life. It is the path to inner freedom and the achievement of truly meaningful goals. By embracing Stoic discipline, you build not only a solid foundation for your plans and ambitions, but also a resilient character capable of facing any challenge that life may present. 9. Resistance to change. Stoic philosophy teaches us that change is the only constant in life. Resisting it is like swimming against the current of a mighty river, exhausting and ultimately futile. The Stoics invite us to embrace change as an opportunity to grow and adapt, recognizing that everything is constantly changing. For the Stoics, acceptance of change does not mean passivity or resignation. On the contrary, it is a deep understanding of the nature of reality and a conscious choice to align with the natural flow of life. This acceptance is rooted in the belief that the universe operates according to a rational order, and every event has its place within that order. Resistance to change often arises from our illusory need for control. We tend to believe that we can adjust the world to our will, but Stoicism reminds us that our control is limited. Instead of fighting the inevitable, we are invited to focus our energy on what we can influence, our actions, thoughts, and attitudes. The Stoics teach us that true strength lies not in mastering the external world, but in mastering ourselves. By cultivating mental and emotional flexibility, we develop the resilience needed to navigate life's changes with grace and equanimity. Embracing change as an opportunity for growth requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing changes in our circumstances as threats, we can see them as challenges that invite us to evolve. Every change brings with it the chance to learn something new about ourselves and the world around us. Stoicism offers us practical tools for dealing with change. One is the practice of daily reflection, which helps us process the changes that occur in our lives and extract valuable lessons from them. Another is the cultivation of gratitude, which allows us to appreciate the present while preparing for the future. Finally, remember that to resist change is to resist life itself. As the philosopher Heraclitus, admired by the Stoics, said, "No, one bathes twice in the same river. Life is always flowing, always changing. By embracing this fundamental truth, we free ourselves from the suffering caused by resistance and open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities that each moment of change offers us." We have reached the end of our journey through the world of Stoicism and its powerful lessons for thriving in life. We have seen how the illusion of control, the fear of failure, the quest for perfection and attachment to the past can prevent us from reaching our true potential. We learned how to avoid the traps of constant comparison, procrastination, and internal negativity. We discovered the power of discipline and the importance of embracing change. Now the question remains, what will you do with this knowledge? Remember, Stoic wisdom is not just to be admired, but to be lived. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to apply these principles and grow. Don't let these 9 barriers continue to block your path to success and happiness. Start practicing self-control today, accept what you can't change, and focus on what is within your control. Cultivate a resilient and positive mindset and see how your life can transform. And if this video has touched you in any way, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with those you love. Click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next reflections on how to live a fuller and more meaningful life. Remember, true prosperity begins within you. It's time to unlock your potential and live the life you deserve. Until next time, and may Stoic wisdom guide your steps.